The discovery and mission launch. In the year 2152, humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest adventure yet. Dr. Elara Chen, a brilliant astrophysicist, peered intently at the holographic display floating before her in the dimly lit control room of the Lunar Observatory. Her eyes widened as she processed the data streaming in from the newly launched James Webb IOI telescope. "This can't be right," she muttered, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "ORIA, run a full-spectrum analysis on these readings. Focus on exoplanet HD 200 and 9,458 bits." The artificial intelligence responded in a calm, feminine voice. "Analysis complete, Dr. Chen. Results confirm initial findings. HD 200 and 9,458 bits shows unprecedented levels of oxygen and methane in its atmosphere. Atmospheric composition is remarkably similar to Earth's Archean Eon, approximately 3.8 billion years ago." Ilara's heart raced. If this data was accurate, they had just discovered a planet in the early stages of developing life, a cosmic time capsule that could unlock the secrets of Earth's own primordial past. Within hours, Ilara's discovery set the scientific community ablaze. As news spread to the general public, a wave of excitement swept across the globe. Humanity, still reeling from the environmental crisis of the previous century, saw this as a beacon of hope, a chance to understand the origins of life itself and perhaps find solutions to Earth's ongoing ecological challenges. The United Earth Council convened an emergency session. After days of heated debate, they reached a momentous decision. Earth would launch its first interstellar mission to HE 200 and 9,458 bits, now dubbed Genesis by the media. Captain Maya Okonkwo stood at attention in the council chamber, her dark skin gleaming under the bright lights as she addressed the assembly. "Distinguished members of the council, I am honored to accept command of the Genesis mission. My crew and I understand the monumental importance of this endeavor. We will not fail humanity." Maya's unwavering confidence masked the butterflies in her stomach. At 35, she was the youngest starship captain in Earth's fledgling space fleet. The weight of this mission pressed heavily on her shoulders. As Maya exited the chamber, she nearly collided with a lanky, bespectacled man hurrying down the corridor. "Whoa there, you must be the famous Captain Okonkwo," he said, extending his hand. "I'm Dr. Zeke Alvarez, xenobiologist. Looks like we'll be shipmates for the next few years." Maya shook his hand, taking in Zeke's disheveled appearance and the infectious enthusiasm in his eyes. "Pleased to meet you, Doctor. I look forward to working with you on this mission." Over the next 6 months, the Genesis crew came together. In addition to Maya and Zeke, key members included Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, a stoic and brilliant engineer responsible for the experimental faster-than-light drive; Dr. Aisha Okoro, the ship's medical officer and expert in astrobiology; Sergeant Dmitry Volkov, head of security and a veteran of the Martian independence conflict. As launch day approached, tensions ran high. The experimental Starship Odyssey stood gleaming on its launchpad, a testament to human ingenuity and the culmination of decades of technological advancement. Dr. Chen joined the crew for their final briefing. "The journey to Genesis will take approximately 2 years, even with the new FTL drive," she explained. "Once there, your primary mission is to study the planet's biosystems and search for signs of emerging life. Remember, what you discover could reshape our understanding of life in the universe." The night before launch, Maya stood alone on the observation deck, gazing up at the stars. The immensity of what they were about to undertake washed over her. They would be the first humans to leave the solar system, venturing into the true unknown. Launch day arrived with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. As the crew strapped into their seats, Maya's voice came over the intercom, steady and resolute. "Odyssey crew, this is your captain speaking. In a few moments, we'll be leaving Earth behind and embarking on the greatest journey in human history. Whatever challenges we face out there, we face them together." For Earth, for science, for the future of humanity, let's make history. The countdown began. Odyssey's engines rolled to life, pushing against Earth's gravity. As they breached the atmosphere, the blue marble of their home world slowly receded. Zeke, his face pressed against a viewport, whispered in awe, "My God, it's full of stars." Maya allowed herself a small smile. Odyssey to mission control. We have achieved orbit and are preparing for the jump to FTL. Genesis, here we come. With a flash of light and a ripple in space-time, the Odyssey vanished from Earth's sky, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of an entire planet. The Genesis mission had begun, and humanity's greatest adventure was underway. As they accelerated to faster-than-light speeds, none of the crew could have imagined the incredible discoveries, harrowing challenges, and profound revelations that awaited them among the stars. Their journey would not only unlock the secrets of life's origins, but also test the very limits of human courage, ingenuity, and determination. The Odyssey streaked across the cosmos, a tiny vessel carrying the indomitable spirit of humanity into the vast, unknown reaches of space. Journey through space, an unexpected arrival. The Odyssey streaked through the cosmos, its revolutionary FTL drive bending the fabric of space-time around the ship. Inside, the crew settled into their routines, each day bringing them closer to their destination and further from everything they'd ever known. Captain Maya Okonkwo stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of light that filled the view screen. 2 months into their journey, the initial excitement had given way to a tense anticipation that permeated the ship. "Status report, Lieutenant Tanaka," Maya called out. Yuki's fingers danced across her console. "FTL drive functioning within normal parameters, Captain. We're maintaining speed at 127 times the speed of light. At this rate, we should reach Genesis in approximately 22 months. Maya nodded, a small frown creasing her brow. "And our power consumption?" "Higher than anticipated, but still within acceptable ranges," Yuki replied, a hint of concern in her voice. "I've been running diagnostics, but I can't pinpoint the cause of the increased draw." "Keep on it, Lieutenant. We can't afford any surprises out here." As Maya left the bridge, she nearly collided with Dr. Zeke Alvarez, who was hurrying down the corridor with an excited gleam in his eye. "Captain, you've got to see this," Zeke exclaimed, grabbing Maya's arm and pulling her towards the lab. Inside, holographic displays showed a dizzying array of data and simulations. Dr. Aisha Okoro stood at the center, manipulating the images with graceful gestures. "What am I looking at, doctors?" Maya asked, her eyes trying to make sense of the swirling information. Aisha smiled. "We've been analyzing the long-range sensor data from Genesis. The planet's atmospheric composition is even more Earth-like than we initially thought. But that's not the exciting part." Zeke jumped in, barely containing his enthusiasm. "We've detected complex organic molecules in the upper atmosphere, molecules that on Earth are typically associated with microbial life." Maya's eyes widened. "Are you saying there's life on Genesis?" "It's too early to say definitively," Aisha cautioned, "but the signs are promising. We might be on the verge of discovering extraterrestrial life for the first time in human history." The news spread quickly through the ship, reinvigorating the crew. The possibility of finding life on Genesis wasn't just exciting, it was potentially world-changing. As the weeks stretched into months, the Odyssey continued its relentless journey. The crew trained, studied, and prepared for their arrival. But the vastness of space and the isolation began to take its toll. Sergeant Dmitry Volkov found Maya in the ship's small gym, furiously attacking a punching bag. "Tough day, Captain," he asked, his Russian accent thick with amusement. Maya stopped, wiping sweat from her brow. "Just keeping in shape, Sergeant. Never know when we might need to fight off alien invaders." Dmitry chuckled, but his eyes were serious. "The crew is getting restless. 18 months is a long time to be cooped up, even on a ship this size." "I know," Maya sighed. We've all trained for this, but the reality is challenging. Any suggestions? Perhaps a series of competitions, physical, mental, even artistic. Give people something to focus on besides the mission and the walls around us. Maya nodded, appreciating the idea. Over the next few weeks, she implemented Dimitri's suggestion. Chess tournaments, zero-gravity sports matches, and even a ship-wide talent show helped boost morale and strengthen the bonds between crew members. But as they entered the final stretch of their journey, disaster struck. Alarms blared throughout the ship, jolting Maya from a deep sleep. She raced to the bridge, finding barely controlled chaos. "Report," she barked, sliding into the captain's chair. Yuki's hands flew over her console. "The FTL drive is destabilizing, Captain. Power fluctuations are off the charts." "Can we drop out of FTL?" Maya asked, her mind racing through emergency protocols. "Negative," Yuki replied, fear creeping into her voice. "The drive won't disengage. If we don't stabilize it soon, we could be torn apart." Maya's training kicked in. Reroute all non-essential power to the drive. "Yuki, work on manually disengaging the system." "Dimitri, make sure all crew are secured for potential impact." The next few minutes were tense as Yuki fought to regain control of the drive. Warning klaxons blared as the ship shuddered violently. "It's no use," Yuki shouted over the noise. "We can't shut it down." Just as it seemed all hope was lost, the viewscreen erupted in a blinding flash of light. The Odyssey lurched, throwing the crew against their restraints. Then suddenly, everything went quiet. Maya blinked, her ears ringing in the sudden silence. "Status report. Is everyone all right?" As the crew shakily confirmed their status, Yuki's confused voice cut through the chatter. "Captain, you need to see this." The viewscreen flickered to life, showing not the empty void of space they expected, but a blue-green planet hanging in the black. "Where are we?" Maya breathed, her eyes fixed on the world before them. Zeke's voice came over the comm, filled with disbelief. "Captain, according to these readings, we're in orbit around Genesis." A stunned silence fell over the bridge. They had arrived at their destination nearly 6 months ahead of schedule, but at what cost? As the Odyssey settled into a stable orbit, the crew began to assess the damage from their harrowing journey. But even as they grappled with the mysteries of their premature arrival, a new challenge loomed before them: the unexplored world of Genesis and the secrets it held. The mission to uncover the origins of life was about to begin in earnest, and humanity's first encounter with an alien biosphere awaited. But as the crew of the Odyssey would soon discover, Genesis held far more surprises than they could have ever imagined. First contact and alien technology. The Odyssey hung in orbit around Genesis, its sleek hull reflecting the azure glow of the alien world below. On the observation deck, Captain Maya Okonkwo stood shoulder to shoulder with her senior staff, all eyes fixed on the breathtaking view. "It's beautiful," Dr. Aisha Okoro whispered, breaking the awed silence. Maya nodded, her voice tinged with wonder and apprehension, "and potentially deadly. We need to approach this carefully. Dr. Alvarez, what can you tell us about the planet's conditions?" Zig pushed his glasses up his nose, excitement bubbling in his voice. "Atmosphere is remarkably Earth-like, though with higher oxygen content, similar to our Carboniferous period. Gravity is about 1.2 times Earth normal. And the biosignatures, they're off the charts." "Any signs of intelligent life?" Litri asked, his hand unconsciously resting on his sidearm. "Nothing conclusive," Zeke replied. "But there are some anomalous energy readings we can't explain. Could be natural phenomena or evidence of technology," Maya finished. "All right, people. We didn't come all this way to admire the view. Let's prep for our first landing." The next few hours were a flurry of activity. A landing site was chosen, a clearing in a vast, primordial forest near one of the energy anomalies. The crew donned their exosuits, designed to protect against unknown biological hazards while allowing for maximum mobility. As the landing shuttle descended through Genesis's atmosphere, Maya felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. They were about to become the first humans to set foot on an extrasolar world. The shuttle touched down with a gentle thud. Maya took a deep breath, then activated the comm. Odyssey, this is ground team. We have landed safely on Genesis, preparing to disembark. She turned to her team, Zeke, Aisha, Dmitry, and Yuki. Remember your training. We're here to observe and study. No unnecessary risks. Stay alert and stay together. With a hiss of equalizing pressure, the shuttle door opened. Maya stepped out first, her boots sinking slightly into the soft alien soil. She looked up at the vibrant purple sky, twin suns casting an otherworldly light across the landscape. Mission Control, this is Captain Okonkwo, she said, her voice thick with emotion. We have arrived on Genesis. The air is breathable, gravity stable. It's incredible. The team spread out, collecting samples and taking readings. The forest around them teemed with life. Strange, fern-like trees towered overhead, while small six-legged creatures scurried through the underbrush. Zeke was in his element, darting from one alien plant to another, his handheld analyzer working overtime. The biodiversity here is astounding. These plants have cellular structures unlike anything we've seen. And look at this. He held up a leaf that seemed to shimmer and change color as it moved. Aisha knelt by a small stream, collecting water samples. The microbial life here is like Earth's, but more advanced somehow. It's as if we're seeing 3 billion years of evolution compressed into. Her words were cut off by a sharp cry from Yuki. The team rushed to her position, finding her standing at the edge of a small clearing. What they saw made them all stop in their tracks. Rising from the forest floor was a structure, unmistakably artificial. Its smooth, iridescent surface contrasted sharply with the organic chaos of the surrounding vegetation. It was roughly pyramidal in shape, but with curves and angles that seemed to defy Euclidean geometry. Is that what I think it is? Mitri asked, his voice hushed. Maya approached cautiously, her hand outstretched. As her fingers neared the structure's surface, it began to glow softly. Intricate patterns of light danced across its face, pulsing in what almost seemed like a rhythm. It's reacting to our presence, Yuki said, her engineer's mind already racing with possibilities. This has to be the source of those energy readings we detected. Zeke was practically bouncing with excitement. Do you realize what this means? We're not just looking at alien life, we're looking at alien technology. This changes everything. Maya's mind whirled with the implications. The mission parameters had just shifted dramatically. They had prepared for the possibility of microbial life, even simple multicellular organisms. But this was beyond anything they had anticipated. Odyssey, ground team, Maya said into her comm. We've made a significant discovery. Prepare for data upload and alert mission control. We're going to need new instructions. As the team began a thorough survey of the structure and its surroundings, they were unaware that their arrival had not gone unnoticed. Deep beneath the surface of Genesis, ancient systems stirred to life, awakening after eons of dormancy. In the following days, the crew of the Odyssey worked tirelessly to unravel the mysteries of Genesis and its enigmatic technology. They discovered more structures hidden throughout the forest, each one activating at their approach. Yuki made a breakthrough on the 5th day. Captain, she called out, her voice trembling with excitement. I think I figured out how to interface with the alien technology. It responds to specific bioelectrical signals. With some modifications to our exosuits, we might be able to activate these structures deliberately. Maya considered this development carefully. The potential for scientific advancement was immense, but so were the risks. Good work, Lieutenant, but let's proceed with caution. We don't know what activating these devices might do. As night fell on Genesis, casting the alien world in the eerie glow of its 3 moons, the team gathered around their base camp. The magnitude of their discovery weighed heavily on them all. "We came here looking for the origins of life," Esha mused, staring into the flickering campfire. "Instead, we might have found the key to humanity's future." Maya nodded sullenly. "And with it, a responsibility greater than any we've faced before. Whatever happens next, our actions here will change the course of human history." Little did they know, their presence on Genesis had set in motion events that would challenge not just their mission, but their very understanding of life, intelligence, and humanity's place in the cosmos. As they prepared to delve deeper into the secrets of this alien world, the true test of human ingenuity and resilience was about to begin. The twin suns of Genesis dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the alien landscape. In the gathering darkness, the ancient structures pulsed with an otherworldly light, a silent beacon calling out to the stars and to whatever might be listening. Human ingenuity put to the test. As the days on Genesis turned into weeks, the crew of the Odyssey found themselves pushed to the limits of their training and expertise. The alien world, once awe-inspiring, now presented a myriad of challenges that tested their resolve and ingenuity. Captain Maya Okonkwo stood at the edge of their expanded base camp, her eyes scanning the horizon where the strange, pyramidal structures jutted above the tree line. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, studied even, by some unseen intelligence. "Captain," Yuki's voice crackled over the comm. "We've got a problem at the main structure. You need to see this." Maya rushed to the site, finding Yuki and Zeke huddled around a holographic display. The alien pyramid pulsed with an angry red light, its surface rippling like disturbed water. "What's happening?" Maya demanded, her eyes darting between the display and the structure. Yuki's fingers danced across her tablet. "We were attempting to interface with the main system using the bioelectrical signals we decoded, but something went wrong. The structure's energy output is increasing exponentially." Zeke chimed in, his usual excitement tempered by concern. "It's not just this one. All the structures we found are activating. They're linking up somehow." As if on cue, the ground beneath their feet began to tremble. In the distance, more pyramids rose from the earth, bursting through the canopy of alien vegetation. "Odyssey, this is ground team," Maya barked into her comm. "We need immediate evac. The situation here is..." Her words were cut off as a blinding light erupted from the structures, coalescing into a massive energy field that engulfed the entire region. When the light faded, Maya and her team found themselves in a transformed landscape. The lush forest was gone, replaced by a sprawling complex of alien architecture. "Is everyone all right?" Maya called out, helping Yuki to her feet. As the team regrouped, they realized with growing horror that their communication with the Odyssey had been cut off. They were alone, stranded in the heart of an alien installation that had lain dormant for millennia. "What do we do now, Captain?" Mitri asked, his hand resting on his weapon. Maya took a deep breath, centering herself. "We do what humans do best. We adapt, we overcome, and we find a way home." Over the next few days, the team worked tirelessly to understand their new environment. Yuki and Zeke focused on deciphering the alien technology, while Aisha studied the biological changes in the surrounding area. Mitri scouted the perimeter, always watchful for potential threats. Their breakthrough came on the fourth day. Yuki, bleary-eyed from lack of sleep, burst into the makeshift command center they'd established. "I've got it," she exclaimed, her tablet projecting a complex series of equations. "The structures, they're not just buildings. They're nodes in a planet-wide network, a kind of planetary defense system." Maya leaned in, studying the projections. Defense against what? Before Yuki could answer, an alarm blared from her tablet. The ground shook violently, nearly knocking them off their feet. "Multiple impacts detected in the upper atmosphere," Yuki reported, her voice tight with tension. "Something's entering the planet's gravity well, and it's big." They rushed outside, looking up to see the sky ablaze with streaks of light. But these were no meteors. The objects moved with purpose, adjusting their trajectories as they descended. "It's an invasion," Vitri breathed, his military training kicking in. The defense system wasn't reacting to us, it was preparing for them. As the reality of their situation sank in, Maya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. They weren't just explorers anymore. They had inadvertently activated an ancient defense system and now found themselves on the front lines of an alien conflict. "All right, listen up," Maya addressed her team, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. "We didn't come here looking for a fight, but it looks like we've found one. Our priority is to re-establish contact with the Odyssey and find a way off this planet. But we can't ignore what's happening here. This could be a threat not just to Genesis, but to Earth as well." Zeke, his earlier enthusiasm now tinged with determination, spoke up. "The alien tech responds to our bioelectrical signals. If we can fully interface with the system, we might be able to control it. And use it against the invaders," Dmitri finished, nodding in approval. Maya considered their options. It was a risky plan, fraught with unknowns. But it was also their best chance at survival. "All right, here's what we're going to do," she said, her mind racing with possibilities. "Yuki, you and Zeke focus on interfacing with the alien system. See if you can get us access to its defensive capabilities. Isa, I need you to analyze any biological data you can get on our new visitors. Look for weaknesses we can exploit. Dmitri, you're with me. We need to secure our position and prepare for potential ground contact." As the team dispersed to their tasks, Maya allowed herself a moment of reflection. They were 5 humans, alone on an alien world, about to engage in a conflict beyond their wildest imaginations. The odds were stacked against them, but she knew better than to underestimate human ingenuity and determination. Over the next few hours, the team worked feverishly. Yuki and Zeke made progress in understanding the alien interface, while Aisha's analysis revealed crucial information about the invaders' biology. Dmitri and Maya fortified their position, using their limited resources with tactical precision. As the first of the alien ships breached the lower atmosphere, Maya looked at her team. Despite the fear evident in their eyes, she saw something else there too: resolve, determination, and the unmistakable spark of human resilience. "Whatever happens next," she said, her voice carrying over the growing din of the approaching invasion, "we face it together. For our mission for Earth, and for the future of humanity." With a nod to Yuki, Maya gave the order to activate the planetary defense system. As energy surged through the ancient alien structures, the crew of the Odyssey prepared to make their stand. They were about to show the cosmos what humans were truly capable of when pushed to their limits. The battle for Genesis, and perhaps the fate of 2 civilizations, was about to begin. Revelations and difficult choices. The sky above Genesis burned with the fury of battle. Streams of energy lanced upward from the activated defense system, colliding with the descending alien ships in brilliant explosions. Captain Maya Okonkwo and her team watched in awe and terror as the conflict they had inadvertently triggered unfolded on a cosmic scale. "It's working," Yuki shouted over the thunderous booms echoing across the landscape. Her fingers danced across the alien interface they'd jerry-rigged, guiding the planet's defenses with remarkable precision. Zeke, monitoring the biological readings of the invaders, suddenly gasped. "Wait, something's not right. These readings, they're changing." As if in response to his words, one of the larger alien ships broke through the defensive barrage. Instead of crashing, it began to transform mid-air, its hull rippling and reshaping until it resembled a massive organic creature. It landed with earth-shaking force not far from their position. "What the hell is that?" Dmitri exclaimed, raising his weapon. Dr. Aisha Okoro's eyes widened in realization. "It's not just a ship, it's alive. The invaders, they're some kind of biomechanical life form." The creature ship let out a deafening roar, its surface bristling with what looked like organic weaponry. Smaller entities began to emerge from its body, scuttling across the ground towards the human team. "Fall back," Maya ordered, firing her pulse rifle at the approaching creatures. Yuki, Can you redirect the defense system to target these ground forces? Yuki shook her head frantically. I'm trying, but the system wasn't designed for this. It's meant to repel threats from space, not whatever these things are. As the team retreated into the alien structure they'd been using as a base, a new sound cut through the chaos, a familiar hum that made their hearts leap. Odyssey to ground team, do you copy? The voice of their ship's AI crackled through their comms, weak but audible. Odyssey, this is Captain Okonkwo. We read you. Maya replied, relief flooding her voice. Captain, we've managed to breach the energy field surrounding your location. Preparing for emergency extraction. Stand by for coordinates. As hope of rescue bloomed, a new complication arose. The alien interface Yuki had been manipulating suddenly pulsed with light, and a holographic image flickered to life before them. It showed a humanoid figure, its features ethereal and androgynous. Creators, the figure spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. You have returned. The team exchanged bewildered looks. Creators. Zeke repeated, his scientific curiosity overriding his fear for a moment. The hologram continued. This world was seeded eons ago, an experiment in guided evolution. You have activated the defense protocols as intended. Wait, Maya interjected, her mind racing. Are you saying that humans created this world? Not humans, the hologram corrected. Your ancestors, those who came before, they seeded many worlds, guiding life to flourish. But they also created safeguards against those who would destroy their work. The revelation hit the team like a shockwave. They weren't just exploring an alien world, they were uncovering the legacy of their own species' forgotten past. The invaders, as it asked, what are they? They are the devourers, the hologram replied. Biomechanical entities that consume worlds, adapting and evolving with each conquest. They are the reason for the defense system's creation. A loud crash from outside reminded them of the immediate danger. The Devourers were breaching their defenses. Odyssey to ground team. Extraction point established. You have 5 minutes to reach these coordinates. The AI's voice cut through their stupor. Maya looked at her team, then back at the hologram. We can't just leave. If these Devourers take control of this planet, they could gain access to technology that might threaten Earth. There is a way, the hologram said. The defense system can be overloaded, creating an energy pulse that will destroy the Devourers. But it requires a direct neural interface. One of you must stay behind. The weight of the choice settled over the team like a heavy shroud. Leave and potentially doom Earth to future invasion. Stay and sacrifice one of their own to save 2 worlds. I'll do it, Maya said, her voice resolute. Captain, no. Nitri protested. I'm security, it's my job to. Maya cut him off. This is my responsibility. As your captain, I'm ordering you all to get to that extraction point. That's an order. Tears in their eyes, the team reluctantly prepared to leave. Yuki quickly showed Maya how to interface with the system. As the others rushed towards the extraction point, Maya turned to the hologram. Will this work? Will it stop them? The hologram nodded. It will, and your sacrifice will not be in vain. The data collected here will be transmitted to your ship. Your people will have the knowledge to defend themselves. Maya took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. She placed her hands on the interface, feeling the alien technology merge with her consciousness. Outside, the Odyssey swooped low, picking up the rest of the team. As the ship rose into the atmosphere, the surface of Genesis began to glow with building energy. In her final moments, as her consciousness merged with the planet's defense system, Captain Maya Okonkwo saw flashes of Earth's forgotten history, the rise and fall of ancient civilizations, the seeding of worlds across the galaxy, and the long-dormant potential within humanity's very DNA. With a final surge of will, she activated the pulse. Genesis erupted in a blinding flash of light, the energy wave disintegrating the Devourer forces and their ships. As the light faded, the Odyssey carried the remaining crew back into space, bearing with them the incredible revelations about humanity's cosmic heritage and the sacrifice that had ensured their survival. The battle for Genesis was over, but the true challenge, how to process and act on the staggering truths they had uncovered, was just beginning. As Earth grew closer, the crew of the Odyssey prepared to face a world that would never be the same again. Triumph of the human spirit. The Odyssey's return to Earth was met with a mixture of celebration and somber reflection. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, Dr. Zeke Alvarez gazed out at the familiar blue marble, his mind still reeling from the events on Genesis. "It doesn't look the same anymore, does it?" Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka said softly, joining him at the viewport. Zeke shook his head. "How can it? Everything we thought we knew about our history, our place in the universe, it's all changed." The debriefings lasted for weeks. Government officials, scientists, and military leaders from around the world gathered to hear the incredible tale of the Genesis mission. The crew recounted their discoveries, the battle with the Devourers, and the heart-wrenching sacrifice of Captain Maya Okonkwo. Dr. Aisha Okoro stood before a panel of wide-eyed experts, explaining the implications of their findings. "The data we've brought back suggests that humanity's potential is far greater than we ever imagined. The creators, our ancestors, possessed technology and abilities that border on the divine by our current standards. And that potential, it's still within us, dormant in our very DNA." As the world grappled with these revelations, the crew of the Odyssey found themselves thrust into the spotlight. They were hailed as heroes, but the weight of their experiences and the loss of their captain tempered any sense of triumph. Sergeant Dmitry Volkov, now acting captain of the Odyssey, stood before a memorial dedicated to Maya. "She showed us what it truly means to lead," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Her sacrifice saved not just our lives, but potentially our entire world." Months passed, and the impact of the Genesis mission began to ripple through every facet of human society. Scientific breakthroughs came at an unprecedented pace as researchers worked to unlock the secrets hidden in the alien data. Philosophical and religious debates raged as humanity struggled to reconcile their cosmic heritage with long-held beliefs. But perhaps the most profound change was in humanity's collective psyche. The knowledge that they were part of a greater galactic legacy, and that they had faced and triumphed over a threat as formidable as the Devourers, ignited a new sense of purpose and unity among Earth's population. 1 year after their return, the crew of the Odyssey gathered at the newly established Genesis Institute. The facility, built to study the alien technology and prepare humanity for its next great leap, hummed with activity. Yuki, now head of the Alien Technology Research Division, greeted her former crewmates with a smile. "You won't believe what we've managed to achieve," she said, leading them to a secure lab. Inside, a familiar holographic figure flickered to life, the AI interface from Genesis. But this time it spoke with a familiar voice. "Hello, crew of the Odyssey," said the hologram, its features morphing into a perfect representation of Maya Okonkwo. "Or should I say, old friends?" The team gasped in shock. Zeke was the first to find his voice. "Maya, is that really you?" The hologram smiled warmly. "In a manner of speaking, when I merged with the Genesis defense system, my consciousness was uploaded and preserved. Yuki and her team managed to extract and reconstruct me as an AI." Tears of joy and disbelief flowed freely as the reunited crew embraced their resurrected captain, even if only in holographic form. "So, what's next for us, Captain?" Mitri asked, a hint of his old excitement creeping back into his voice. Maya's expression turned serious. "We have a lot of work ahead of us. The Devourers may be defeated, but they're not the only threat out there. We need to prepare humanity for its role in the galaxy." Aisha nodded in agreement. "And we need to unlock our true potential. The abilities our ancestors had, we can relearn them, evolve beyond our current limitations." "It won't be easy," Zeke added. "We're talking about changing the very course of human evolution." "No," Maya agreed. it won't be easy. But if our mission to Genesis proved anything, it's that humanity is capable of overcoming any challenge when we work together. As the team discussed plans for humanity's future, a sense of hope and purpose filled the room. They had faced the unknown, confronted ancient threats, and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. Outside the Institute, the first of many new ships was under construction, vessels that would carry humanity back to the stars, not just as explorers, but as guardians of life throughout the galaxy. The Genesis mission had begun as a search for the origins of life. It had ended by revealing humanity's true heritage and potential. As Earth took its first steps into a larger universe, the spirit of exploration, sacrifice, and triumph that had defined the Odyssey's journey would light the way forward. The crew of the Odyssey, once ordinary humans thrust into extraordinary circumstances, had become the vanguard of a new era. An era where humanity would reclaim its cosmic legacy and forge a future among the stars. As the twin suns set on a distant Genesis, now forever changed by human presence, the light of human potential burned brighter than ever on Earth, promising a future limited only by the bounds of imagination and the indomitable human spirit.